My name is Edward Manuszak, and I'm the superintendent at Dundee Community Schools in Dundee, Michigan.
And Eddie, you've been with us for quite a while now in terms of planning. What are your thoughts on the Michigan Learning Channel?
Well, I think the Michigan Learning Channel is an amazing initiative that I know Detroit Public Television has really spearheaded this statewide effort in collaboration with so many different partners. I know that they've worked with our legislators and the governor, the office of the governor, to make this kind of dream a reality for our students across the entire state. I know that they're also collaboratively working with other stations around the state. And then I know that it means a great deal to us as a district that we are a partner with Detroit Public Television also. So I know that your work has been just so significant working with local public school districts in the state of Michigan also during such a challenging time. But I know that this Michigan Learning Channel also is something that hopefully will extend past this pandemic and will continue to offer amazing opportunities for our students just so that they have the ability to gain insight and knowledge on wonderful lessons and also more learning opportunities that quite honestly is free because every household in the state of Michigan has a television.
Absolutely. So Eddie, tell me a little bit more about, so you're a superintendent of Dundee Schools?
Yep, so this is my 5th year as the superintendent of Dundee Community Schools and my 26th year as a public school educator. I started out teaching preschool and kindergarten in 1st grade, and then I became an elementary principal and then worked in central office, was an assistant superintendent, now as a superintendent. Have had the joy and pleasure of leading the community of Dundee and the district here in Dundee. So I've just been so excited to promote all that I can with the work that our district is doing and the positive impact we make on a daily basis with our families and our students here in our little neck of the woods.
Now, Eddie, you seem to me, as a person who has a background in early childhood, that seems to be something near and dear to your heart as well. Can you tell me what inspired you to really work in the early childhood field?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I got involved with early childhood education because of my mother-in-law. I had the ability when I was in college to volunteer. She owned and operated her own preschool. And she said, hey, you might want to consider this. I came from a family of non-educators. And so about 15 minutes into my volunteer stint, I, as an 18-year-old, figured out what my love of my work career will be is working and helping children. And I just absolutely fell in love with it. I've made this be a career choice. And I know that this is a thread that's been honestly through the entire aspect of all of my educational career, from a teacher to an administrator to now a district level administrator. And, you know, I also am involved now nationally on some, important work with some other organizations.
You said you're involved nationally with other organizations. Do you meet with other superintendents or what kind of organizations do you do nationally?
Yeah, so as a superintendent, I belong to the AASA, which is the National Superintendents Association, and they have a subcommittee called the Early Learning Cohort. I'm a co-chair of this committee. I've been the cohort co-chair for the last 3 years on this national committee. And we have about 75 superintendents, district leaders, educational professionals that are part of this committee. And we have strategic partners with many individual organizations and have really done all we can to promote to make early childhood matter most.
Now, coming from early childhood as well, I know that screens have always been something that we've tried to keep at a balance or not really push children to. Now with the pandemic, we've had to rely on the screens a lot. How do you feel the Michigan Learning Channel may be able to help even being on a screen?
Yeah, so I think there's very much part of the developmentally appropriate practice you have to as a family, really use this as an educational resource. And when you're doing that, and it shouldn't be a social answer. It shouldn't be an answer for a family to say, well, we know that this lesson is going to be on, therefore, we want you to watch this, and then continue to watch what you need to watch, and have there be this never ending cycle of being sat in front of a screen or being sat in front of a TV. And so it is about a partnership. And I think that's what really makes this so amazing, is that there is no further trusted name in my world as an educator than PBS. And PBS is this amazing resource, that quality program that when it's put out is going to be developmentally appropriate for the audience that it's intended. It has research that'll be backing it. It has usually lots of vetting that goes on with it. So it's going to be a safe endeavor. And because of that, you have that ability then to know, okay, this is going to be a resource that we can then work with and be a partner with and invite in our homes in a meaningful way. And that's really what it's about. It's that engagement. And I think that's also what made, Mr. Rogers during his time in being the ambassador that he was for early childhood education and young children, who happens to be a hero of mine, because he figured out very early that it wasn't about the fact that he was on TV, that he was actually having a conversation with every single child in the United States, including myself. And that's the goal of the Michigan Learning Channel, is we want that level of engagement to occur so that there is that two-way kind of emotional and intellectual attachment.
That's beautiful. I could not have said that better myself. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you that you would like to share with us?
You know what, Tara, there's not anything you've asked, but I certainly want to say, and just to share, that the work I know that Detroit Public Television, and being a leader, not just in the state of Michigan, but because of my work on a national level, I know that there are other stations around the nation that are beginning to emulate exactly what you are doing as a station, not only from our standpoint of being a local public school district, but just the work I know that you're making connections now with families, also on a very personal level, with Preschool U and Preschool U2, the curriculums that are there in place that are these parent workshops. And I know that our Monroe County Superintendents Association has an early childhood plan, and we are thrilled to be able to implement and use the Preschool U and Preschool U2 curriculum in that plan as we move our work collectively and collaboratively together on reaching our birth through age 3 population in our county, and forging those deep, lasting partnerships that we have with our families, so that they know that they, number one, can trust PBS with the Michigan Learning Channel, and 2, can trust PBS because of the curriculum that we're using, and then they can trust us as a district. So it's this really awesome cycle. It's like an ecosystem that we've created, but all being positive and centered on what is best for each and every child in their development.